Everybody that's online, I want to thank you for joining. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of our latest features we just launched. The first piece of it we launched last month, and the second piece we launched as of yesterday. And this is the enterprise task management feedback two-way response portal. So what you're going to see today, you're going to see how to use a task management software with a big company and how to revolutionize your task management software with your team so that the team leaders are actually doing more of the heavy lifting, whereas the staff are actually just contributing. And this is kind of where you want to go if you're trying to grow your company. So on the line, I got my colleague from Bangalore, Binoy Mohan. He's been our business partner for 7 years now. And we did put a special offer out there to the Indian market. And and I know a lot of people on the line are calling in from India. So today we're going to also put an offer on the table. If you're interested in signing up, I'm going to direct you to Binoy, and he'll take you forward with the discussions on how to go forward with the software. So another heads up, this webinar is scheduled for 30 minutes, but we're going to go 30 minutes longer in case you want to have kind of like a free discussion and take a look at the feature a little bit more in depth. So it's up to you guys. So what's on the agenda for today? We're going to basically take a look at what makes this software different than your typical task manager, project manager, strategy deployment software. I'm going to give you an perspective into how much time commitment it takes for you to roll the software out and to use the software. I'll give you an idea on who the software is for, who it's not for, more importantly. We've been in business now for 8 years, and we have a very interesting profile of who we want to work with as opposed to who we don't want to work with. And over the years, you learn from your mistakes, and you realize what type of companies are good for this type of software, what type of companies are not ready for it. There's an offer. I'll put the offer on the table today so you guys can see. What's important is that you plug your requirements into this offer to make sure this is something you want to do. The offer is good until tomorrow evening, the 29th. And we'll go into that shortly. And then we're going to do a group simulation. So I got a couple people that signed up earlier, and they said they wanted to be part of the simulation. So we actually put them in the system. Now, if you had come 30 minutes ago, I probably would have been able to get you in there as well, but no issues. We're gonna just do some screen sharing. So that's what's on the agenda for today. Let's see, the people are starting to come in, so bear with me. Unfortunately, I'm running this alone, so I'm going to have to keep my eye on the waiting room as well. I'm going to ask you, everybody, please put yourself on mute. And I'm also going to put myself, I'm going to turn my video off so the actual screen sharing looks better. It's a bit smoother. Okay. So let's talk about Presto PDCA. What makes this software different? And what I like to highlight from the beginning, especially if you're new to Presto, I know we got a couple of clients on the line, so some of this will be a little bit of a repeat, but it's always good to refresh. The difference between Presto is it helps you organize. That quote from Steve Jobs, he's telling you the best way to innovate your company is to be organized so you can try different things. And if you ever worked with consultants, that's one of their key plays in their playbooks is to just reorganize a process without even changing the technology or the actual steps, just reorganizing things in a different way. And what Presto is giving you, it's giving you this visibility into your company. So you see the company from the top down, and by looking at your company that way and being able to zoom in or zoom out, you can see which teams are running the company, what's the span of control of those teams, what people are on those teams, and what business processes support those teams. So having this at your fingertips, you're then in a better position to know when you have to do something, when you have to make some decision, who are the people involved, what are the functions involved, what are the processes that are going to be impacted. So what our software is offering, why do we have clients that have come to us and they say, yeah, I've used the Microsoft spreadsheets, I've used Trello, I've used Monday.com, and it's not doing what we want it to do. So why do they come to us? So I'm going to try to give you some insight into why that's the case. So you can see standard usage of software that manages tasks, that manages, I would say, even strategy and projects. It looks kind of like this. So you got your org chart. You can see senior management in most companies. From our experience, I've been doing this now for 8 years. And when I see companies trying to roll out big portfolios of projects, the people at the top of the company, the C-suite, most of the time their expectation is they're not going to use the software. And when their expectation is to use it, a lot of times they're still not using it correctly. So in your standard project management company, what you see is you see no usage at the top of the company, and then you got your team leaders that are actually doing a lot of the strategic type alignment. You're seeing a lot of the planning, a lot of the coordinations being done at the team leaders. And then you got a bunch of people in the lower rank of the company, the staff, that are assigned to do all kinds of technical things in the software. So they're messaging each other, they're ticking boxes, they're changing things. So that puts a lot of interesting stress on the team leader from a governance point of view. So we could go into this topic for a long time. I'm not going to, because I really want you to see the software today. But what you're going to see from our product is that we actually engage, before we engage the staff, we actually engage the team leaders, the senior management. And what we're saying at the C-suite is we expect the C-suite to be communicating all the way to the staff level. So what the software is giving the C-suite the possibility to get real-time status update, not a PowerPoint presentation that somebody spends a week with their team putting together, but real-time visibility into what this strategic portfolio of initiatives looks like. And you're going to see we're not asking them to spend that much time in there. We're just giving them the portal to go in there and see what's going on. And then that second bullet, giving the C-suite themselves the possibility to just go straight to the source, whether it's a team leader or even someone below a team leader, and send a quick request out there for an update. And what you're going to see today is this is done in literally less than 5 seconds. You can go on the dashboard, see something. If you don't like something, open it up, click a button, and on your behalf, our machine is going to send them an email that's going to be rich in information and with a survey attached asking them to respond. Now, another big thing that we like to highlight is that at this point in time, when you get this top-down view of your company and you start putting your project portfolio in place, you're now putting your C-suite in a better position to actually get their hands dirty and transform their strategic vision into a digital roadmap. And that's what Presto is giving to you. Now, we're not going to go too much into strategic initiatives today, but keep that in mind in case you want to explore that, because we have a lot of material, we have a lot of demos, and of course we'll be happy to talk to you if you're interested in doing a Hoshin Kanri rollout that's supported by a portfolio of OKRs. But today we're just going to talk about the lowest common denominator, the task lists that exist all throughout your company. And the other key element I like to highlight is that our product makes team leaders more involved with their actual project portfolio. So we're asking the team leaders to at least map out the tasks before they actually start giving them. But what we like to do, we like to make sure the team leaders are responsible for tasks list. The staff know very well that they're responsible to the team leaders, and they actually support them in a structured way. And that's why we use the RACI accountability matrix, and you'll see it today. So let's talk a bit about the time commitment. So everything you see today, if you think you like it, you're going to start asking, how long is it going to take me to get up and going? So what you see now, you're going to see from a time commitment point of view, well, the C-suite, as I mentioned earlier, they want to look at the dashboard. They want to look at projects. And of course, if everything's green, they're probably going to stop at that. If they see a little red dot, they're going to go click on it, and then they're going to act based on the information they see. So they might say, you know what, I need to get involved. I want a status update from someone, or I may even need to make a phone call. But all of that, we're suggesting that the C-suite goes onto the dashboard, 1 or 2 times a month, just to stay in touch. Obviously, it depends on the nature of the work, depends on the nature of the projects that are taking place. But if you take an average of that works, we're not asking that the senior management spends more than 5 minutes a day on the dashboard. Now, of course, they can get definitely more involved depending on what type of relationship they like to have with the people that work for them, what level of maturity the company's in, things like that. But keeping that in mind, you can see daily usage, about 5 minutes. And to get a senior leader up to speed, we only require 30 minutes of training. Now, we got a couple of people on the line today that are going to actually participate in the demo. And I just met them this morning. We sent them out a task list directly from Presto before we even spoke to them, and a couple of them already responded. So I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you, when staff members take literally less than 10 minutes just to get up to speed to use the system. I'll even let a couple of them speak. But from a team leader point of view, we expect that the team leader is spending 90 minutes in training. So in an hour and a half or 3 30-minute sessions, everything you see me doing today, we'll be able to put your company up and going. To be honest with you, you could end up doing it yourself, following the online materials. Will take you a little bit more than 90 minutes, but if you have an expert help you out, we'll be glad to get you up and going in 90 minutes, and you probably won't call us again. And from a staff point of view, as I mentioned, everything you see at the staff level, looking at their projects, looking at their task lists, communicating, giving status updates, giving comments, no more than 5 minutes. In fact, and you don't even need to contact them. As I mentioned to you, the people that we brought into the call this morning, we just sent them out a task list, a sample, and some of them responded immediately in the solution itself. So keeping that in mind, who's this for, who's this not for? We could spend a good half an hour just talking about the philosophy of what types of companies are good for this type of product. From our point of view, this product is good for companies where senior management is hands-on. Senior management wants to reduce meetings. Senior management wants to reduce reports, status reports. Senior management wants more weekly interaction with their staff. They're not afraid to jump levels when it comes down to getting stuff done. And we're looking for senior managers that like to have that mentor culture in the company where people that are at higher levels are excited about sharing their knowledge with people at lower levels to get them to that next level. Who's it's not for? It's not for senior management that don't want to get their hands on. Delegate and wait, we like to call it. I've worked in quite a few companies where senior management's view of managing the company is, we've given you something to do, get it done, just make sure you do it right, and then you don't hear from them until the day it's due. And that's definitely not the type of company that should be using this type of solution. At a team lead level, this is a product for team leaders that like to have this hands-on activity. They like to be lessons learned focused. They like to coach their team, and they like to have this relationship so that people that are responsible for doing things underneath them are actually giving them updates, and the team leader themselves is actually signing off on it, reconciling it. Again, similar to senior management, you definitely don't want to put this in the hands of a team leader that doesn't like to be hands-on, that doesn't like personal interaction with the team, and is looking more for a technical solution where everything's in the system and you're counting on automated emails and automated alert messages to tell you what to do. Now, you can set up Presto to absolutely do those things, but what we recommend, especially in the beginning, turn all those things off and just let the team leaders and the senior management push the alerts, push the emails, and that's what you're about to see. So finally, from a staff point of view, who's this for? This is for companies who want to better encourage their staff to share ideas, companies looking to enhance role and responsibility, enhance sense of accountability, and get their staff members working with their team leaders in more of a discussion, in more of a dialogue, instead of a technical roadmap that just goes step by step, and when things go wrong, all kinds of bells and whistles flag up. Who's it not for? It's not for companies that are not growing, that are not planning to grow, and they're not planning on being transparent with their staff. Now, some of those companies are it's obvious that they're not planning on taking things further. They just like doing things the way they've always done. This is definitely not a product for that type of company. We've had our experiences with those type. So before we do the demo, quick review of the offer. So if you go online, it depends where you are. This demo was scheduled for EMEA and APAC region. So most people are in my region are dealing in euros. But you can the offer we're giving you, if you're interested, 1 to 5 licenses, the standard price that you probably see online. If you're in euros, in dollars, it's about $12 now. But what we're throwing in coaching sessions for free. So if you were to buy up to 5 licenses, we'll give you 6 30-minute sessions. That's absolutely enough to get 5 people really up to speed. If you buy up to 15 licenses, the price goes down a bit, and we'll give you 10 sessions, 30 minutes each over the course of the year, obviously. And if you buy 15 plus licenses, we'll lower the price to €7 per license, 20 sessions each. Now, I did mention that we have a lot of colleagues in India today, so that we have a special thing going on in India. So if you're calling in from India, this is a big offer. if you go online, you can see right now we're talking it's about 1,000 rupees per month per license. If you want to use that product code, it's good up until tomorrow evening. We're offering Presto for 320 Indian rupees per month and 6 sessions of coaching. And you can see up to 14 licenses, it goes down to 240 per license per month, 10 sessions. And if you go after 15 licenses, it's 160 rupees per month, 20 sessions of training. So something to think about. We can talk about this again if you want to discuss this at the end of the demo. But I really want to show you the software. So I know a couple of the people that signed up, said they were interested in joining. I met Louise earlier. I'm going to check in a second. Some of these other people are online, but you can see these are some people that are online today. We're going to put them in a task list, and we're going to send them a task, and then we're going to let them share their screen and see what happened. So the task builder from the dashboard. So today we're going to talk about, I'm going to log in as Samuel Dupont, the head of the Dupont toy manufacturer. You can see he's looking on his dashboard. You can see he's 131 people in his company, 213 business processes. If he wants to add a project or a standard work process checklist or an issue, he's got this button right here. And that's how you can immediately add something to do for somebody directly from the dashboard. And when you do that, what you're doing now is you're dragging and dropping the team, you're dragging and dropping the workflow or the Kanban. And that's one of the things in the training that will help you really understand. And once you understand that, your company becomes dramatically more efficient. You're classifying your activity into a KSF, a key success factor. So here we're doing a training activity. Later we'll do a cost activity. After that, we're going to do a quality or a safety activity. And you put in a quick name to start. And this is if you do everything manual. Now I'm going to also show you how you can put all your checklists, your standard work checklist on your dashboard. So whenever you need to do something, for example, set up a laptop, it's already there, ready to go, and you just upload it and start working with the people already assigned. So you save that, your checklist comes on the screen, and what you're doing now is you're putting the steps in there and you're assigning the people. And we're using the RACI accountability matrix that allows your company now to really understand roles and responsibilities to a better level. So here's our team. I think I'm going to go into the system now. Let's do a couple exercises. So what we'll do, let's jump into the system. Okay. So I see question. I can excuse myself. I have an urgent call to end. Okay. So quick tap. If you guys see my screen, you can see there's Samuel. If I click on him, you can start moving around the company. You can start moving up and down your org chart. So today we're going to take a look at the sales team. We're going to also take a look at the manufacturing team, which is run by Mike DeMaio. And you can see we're going to zoom into these levels. You can see here we have the people in the company. Here we have the processes in the company. So a quick checklist. This is the one I just set up and I sent to the team. So you can see welcome to the team exercise. So I open this up and I can see already some people have responded to me. And I can see on my note panel, Luis sent a good response. Thank you. Gozi did as well. I don't know if he's in the call. He said, I'm pretty busy, probably not going to make it. So anyway, I sent them this checklist. I'm going to add another task. I'm going to say, please align to webinar invite. So task list completely built on this panel over here. And you can see these are the people I put in the RACI accountability matrix. But if I zoom into this task, I might say, give me just myself as the responsible and accountable. In this case, I see Louise on the line. I'm going to put him as the accountable party. So now this task in itself in this checklist is actually from a RACI accountability matrix. It's actually assigned to these two people. So here we are doing a simple checklist, but I wanted to also show you another way to start managing things. Let's talk about, I have a couple examples. Let's do a monthly sales and commission report from the sales team. So I'm going to jump to the sales team. Here you can see our org chart. Let's go jump. There's Fred DeLuca, head of sales. We'll jump to his team. And now when Fred logs into Presto, this is what he sees. He sees his team. He sees his people. He sees his processes. He has 19 processes. So let's go take a look at at his management reporting process. So you can see here, you got your macro and micro processes. And this is where you can really get your company to start becoming process focused, telling every team leader, tell us what you do, give it to us in macro, micro categories. And he's telling you, I do a monthly sales and commission report, and he's telling you there, he's collecting sales revenue figures, reconciling figures, consolidate, present, he archives, and he sends the report to Natasha. And if you take a look, if I go to each task, I can actually see he's actually used the ratio matrix at the task level. So if I take a look at this here, you can see step by step who does what. Now in this case here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add, I know Louise is on the line. Is there anybody else that officially signed up? I'm going to take a look if I see any names that I see Louise. I don't see anybody else that asked me to be a, okay, so I don't see anybody else that actually set themselves up. Louise, are you on your laptop?
I am.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do now, we're going to go take a look at that process again, and we're going to say, you know what, we want Louise in that as well. In fact, I'm just going to add it directly from the dashboard. So one last look at this. I want to show you something I think is important. So monthly sales and commission reporting. There's our control steps. In this case here, I'm going to say, you know what? I need Louise to actually send the report to Natasha. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put him in here as, there he is in the ratio matrix. So I'm going to save that, and I close it, and take a look at that again. Okay, good. So now what we can do, and if you take a look, there's also a document that supports this process. So what you do is you put your processes on your dashboard, and you also link any document in the company that's relating to this process over here. So we set up monthly management reporting for sales team standard operating procedure. So not only do you have this checklist, but you also have a Word document. And what you do is using your document taxonomy that you can configure yourself, or you can use the one we suggest in our template. You put your link to where it is on your SharePoint. So you could be using OneDrive, you could be using SharePoint, you could be using Dropbox, doesn't matter. And you could be using multiple ones. What's important is that people put the document there and put the right link. So then if anybody can come here, as long as you have access to the folder, when you click on it, you're going straight to your shared drive where it's saved. So here's my standard operating procedure. So here's all the documentation it takes to do this step-by-step checklist. So now what we'll do, let's assign this to the sales team. So I'm going to come here. Now you can see Fred has sales in APAC, North America, Europe, Latin America. So I think Louise is in Australia. So why not assign it to the Australian team? And we're going to say monthly sales report for APAC. Now, by the way, this can actually be completely automated, but I'm just doing it so you guys get an idea. Now, here's our workflows, simplified it just so you can see we're going to do a one-step. We call this a just do it workflow. It's defaulting to delivery. In this case, I'm going to say this is a cost activity. This is a cost because we're doing a monthly sales report. So I open this up. Now you can see there's nothing in my checklist yet. And now what I want to do, I'm going to say, let's import a checklist from my process library. And I'm going to call this, oh, shame on me. I didn't put it in I didn't open up that process in the best practice library. So excuse me 1 second. We're going to open this up now. I'm going to come back to here. And here's where where Fred is going to say, make this process public so other people can see it. So I'm going to come here. He's going to say, make this checklist public. And he does so, sorry, here it is. By saying, he can say, make this completely visible to my team, make this completely visible to the company, make it private so nobody sees it. Or if you actually put public there, you're actually sharing this with the rest of the Presto community. So that obviously is something you probably wouldn't do. But so now I've just made that process public. So I'm going to open it up now, and you can see monthly sales report for APAC. I open this up, and now I'm going to come here. And now you can see, where is that sales report? There it is, monthly sales. Now, if this list was long, there's my search box. Monthly sales report, 6 steps. So now I'm going to import this, and you can see immediately, there's our steps in the checklist. There's the owners, and there's Luis Garduno. And if I zoom into this task, send the report to Natasha, There he is. And there's his boss, Fred DeLuca. So now what you're doing, we've set up a multi-team checklist. So you got the different people on Fred's team. And now what we want to do is let's get this out to Louise. So the first thing you can do, you can click on the send email. And I can say, you know what, now everybody you see here are people that are in that RACI matrix for this process. There's Louise. And I remember I've logged in as Samuel, so I'm just going to send him a quick message. Hi, Louise. Please have a look at this checklist. Louise, are you in a position to share with us your screen?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I just sent Louise an email. Can you you should have received an email. I've sent you a push. Yeah. So again, I came through here. I selected this.
One sec.
And let's see if this works. Now, by the way, I can also do this to myself. I'm Samuel, so here I am. I'm going to send that to myself.
One sec.
If I go into my Gmail, there's what I just sent. So let us know when you're ready, Louise. So you can see I sent this to myself. There's our checklist. So you get an email. Now keep in mind, anybody that you can send these emails to. In fact, I'm going to do something while we wait for Louise. I'm going to send it again, but this time I'm going to send it a simpler version of it. I'm going to send it to me. I'm going to untick this box here. I'm going to say, no response is required. I just want information.
You have disabled participant screen sharing.
Ah, okay. Good catch. So give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing, and you should be able to go ahead.
Okay.
So Louise is going to now share with us the email that we just sent him. Now keep in mind, Louise and I just met 30 minutes ago. So
yeah,
he's my witness. So Louise should have.
It's all good. One sec.
You're using a Mac, okay?
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm using a Mac.
Okay.
2 seconds. It's downloading. My apologies. I use this general email to check also my personal and business. I've got an import-export business here in Australia for alcohol. Hold on. Oh, what happened? Come on.
I can send it again if you know. You should have just received it right now.
Sure. Two six.
All right, I'm gonna continue over
Hold
here.
on, I'll try again. I'm
gonna send. So what we'll do, we'll send it to Louise again, as you can see my screen. And what we'll do, I'm gonna send another version to me. And this time I'm gonna send the simple version. And here's where you can put a message. You can also do a bunch of other things. Won't talk about them now, but a bunch of things like request a special type of response or request that somebody does something. So now you can see here I am in my inbox really quick. There it is.
Yep, I'm ready. Yep, I'm ready.
Hold on a second. Let me just finish this one. So you can see here I've sent myself a simple version. I'm getting an email saying Samuel has pushed you this. And you can see there it is. There's our task list. There's the responsible party, and you can see there's the initials of the people that need to do it. Now, I didn't put any due dates in there, otherwise you would have seen your nice due dates. You can see there's Louise as the last guy on step number 6. Now, here we have a link to the document, and here you have the RACI matrix, and you have a description to what this whole process is all about. Now, the point I'm making here is that the people you send these to, they don't even need to be users of the software. So what you can do is you can just start sending people these type of pushes, and you can say, I'm your manager, I'm tracking these things, please give me an update on this. So then you can then have a phone call, have an email, have a meeting, whatever it takes. And this is why at the beginning of the presentation I said this software teaches managers to become better coaches and stop relying too much on technology and use the technology just to induce discussions. So Louise, if you don't mind, could you share your screen? So the
Yep,
email I
yep, yep,
sent to Louise, I actually requested a response. I'm acting on behalf of Samuel. I'm Louise's manager, so I'm sending him that email. Now, in his case, you can
yep.
see.
Here, this.
Okay.
Samuel to collect responsible the complete monthly management reporting from sales, and there it is.
Now, Louise, just for fun,
Looks
can you please click on the
looks
link?
beautiful.
Click on the
Uh,
link to the document, the
yep,
document first at the bottom. You see that monthly
yep, yeah,
management
sure.
reporting in the
That one.
middle. Yeah. So this here is the same document that I just showed you guys. And now Louise has access to it. So what you're doing is
Yep.
you're giving access to, yeah, so you don't have access to my shared drive, as you can see, or you could. And you're giving access to everybody in the company to links that they're supposed to be working on, whether they use the software or not. So yeah, okay. So that's obviously because Louise doesn't have access to my shared drive. I thought it was free. Okay, no issues.
That's all right. Oh, good.
Can you take us back to the email, please?
Yep, sure.
So there he is. He's received his email. Now this email is a little bit different because when I ticked that box and said I want a response from Louise. So how's Louise gonna respond to us? It was the first mail I sent you.
One sec. Which is this one.
You'll know. There you go. You see the big yellow send update button.
Yeah, here.
So now here we're asking Louise for a response. So when he clicks that,
Can I click it?
Go for it. So when he clicks that, what's going to happen? He's going straight to our two-way feedback survey panel. So basically, what you can see now, there's the task list, and you can see step by step. Oh, it's a little broken. Can you maximize the screen possibly?
Yes, I can.
Size.
Yes. Yep. There it is.
Just keep in mind, everybody, this is all very new. So that's as big as the screen gets.
2 seconds.
Because I'm seeing those little text boxes are a bit misaligned, but I believe these guys. Yeah, okay, much better. So there you go. So you can see there's every step to the checklist. Now, in this case here, from the email, we know Louise is responsible for step number 6. So if you don't mind, Louise, maybe you could answer number 6 for us. So Louise is now going to tell his boss how step number 6 is working for him, how it's going to be.
Being entered. Demand is strong. Yep. And then
Thanks,
just
imagination. Hey, actually, hold on a second, Louise. So just
oh, sorry.
No issues. You can just hit answer again. So you can see, I just want to highlight. So this panel here, this is the most simple staff member panel. Yeah, if you don't mind, hit answer again. So it just opens up the screen again. So you can see, we're just asking them, okay, there's stuff out here we need you to do. Just tell us, all good, not sure, need more time. And then you have the possibility to tick a box and say, please call me. You also have the possibility to say meeting request.
Yep.
And now this is the most simple version, but we will, there's going to be other versions depending on what type of permissions, what type of user licenses you give to the people that will actually let them do other things like potentially change a date or upload a document, stuff like that. But this right here is the most simple version, so you can just get your team working. Now, Louise, you actually responded to me earlier in the call, and like I hadn't even talking to him yet. So I imagine you found the experience hopefully intuitive.
It's fantastic. It's beautiful, and it's very smooth. Very
Okay.
I mean, from user perspective, is fantastic.
That's really nice to hear. Now, keep in mind, this just came out yesterday. I know, I'm just looking at this, I have my own personal opinions on how they could make this screen a little bit better and stuff like that. And of course, if you guys join the team and you start using the software, we'll be delighted to hear from you. So anyway, the last piece before we close the discussion is, what did we just do? So Louise just sent me some information. So what happens to that information? So now what we'll do, you can see there's our project. And there's monthly sales report for APAC. And when I open this up, I already see there's a note in there. So I'm like, oh, wow, there's a note. And actually, if I want to look anymore because that note's over there. It's on this task. So if I zoom into that task, here's our note panel. There's Louise telling me task all good, send report to Natasha. He's saying figures have been entered, demand is strong. So the whole philosophy, the whole logic of what you're seeing here is that you're getting your team leaders to take accountability for their staff. So the staff is doing things, they're giving you inputs, but we don't want to force all the staff members to learn how to use the software, to learn how to tick boxes, to learn the whole structure of how to put due dates in those type of things. We want the team leaders to take that ownership and therefore get the staff to just do what they're supposed to be doing. It's execute on the things they're supposed to be doing. So now, of course, you can definitely recalibrate that logic. You can give a staff member the same license that I have here, so that they can go to the dashboard, especially if you're training them to become your next team leader. But the point is first things first. Let's make sure that anybody that's responsible for a team is able to effectively get their task to do things. A couple more things in this deck. I was going to show you a few more teams, but it would kind of be a bit of a repeat. You can see there's I'll send you this deck after. I think you already got a good version of it, but you can see this is just an example of what that panel looks like. And you can see from this panel over here, those are the notes that come in from your staff. Now, one thing you didn't see is that I didn't activate, but you can activate the alert, the email alerts, and the screen notifications. So basically, every time somebody sends you a note, you're going to see it up here. So I can come here and I can see these are all the different things that are happening. Every time somebody does something, I get a note, and you can see these are the notes that I've received. Now I didn't activate it for this example. I should have, but you would have seen Louise's face over here saying he's giving a note. You can also set it up so you get emails. So basically I can say, you know what, this is a super big, important task. I'm gonna sign off today, but so whenever somebody puts a note, so when Louise sends a note, I get an email saying there's a note added to this project. Go into Presto and check it out. So another thing we're doing is we're making it so that you're not chained to the software. You always have to be in the software all the time. The goal is so that both team leaders and team members can see things, can work at their own pace on the things that they're working on. I'll jump back to the top of the company. You can see there's Samuel. Now I have a filter on the dashboard at the moment. I have a filter, all stuff open today. If you take a look at all outstanding items, there's all the stuff in the PDCA logic. Let's take a look at everything that's going on in manufacturing. I opened that up and you can see you got 3 things. Now, another thing you can do, I can take this report here. And I can say, you know what, I want to send this to Louise as well. I want him to see this report in any documents that are in there. Actually, let me use one where there are documents. Let's use the one that we just set up. So here's what we just set up. There's and now I'm going to send this to some people. So I open this up and you can see these are all the people that are actually team leaders here. And I don't see Louise, so I'm going to add him. There he is. So now, Louise, I'm going to send you an email with this report. Now, what you're going to get here in your email, you're going to get a PDF file. And if there are any documents in here, and I can see already that there aren't, but if they were, they would all be listed in a nice table in the email. So again, you're sending out status updates on things with the documents necessary to people, whether they are or aren't Presto users. And that also includes your clients, your vendors, service providers. You could be doing a quick project with someone that's outside the company, and you're going to say, hey, look, we use a system. When you get an email from us, just go to the survey panel and give us an update, please. And it's very, very easy. Hey, Louise, do you want to share your screen with us? Show us what you received. If you still... I'm looking at the questions. I don't see any. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're going to start going over a few of them now, but yeah, so. Okay. No, it's not that one. Should have got one with a PDF file. Yeah, there you go. So you can see he's got an email and saying, here's a list of projects, and there's a PDF file attached to it. And this is super useful for giving status updates, especially there's another dashboard. We're not going to see it today. Yeah, nice. So we're not going to see it today, but there's a dashboard where you can just say, show me all open tasks. show me all tasks that are overdue. You get this beautiful report that shows all the open tasks that are overdue, and you just start sending it to people saying, guys, what's going on with these? We're going to talk about these in tomorrow morning team meeting. So
That's brilliant.
So Louise, I want to say big thanks for your for being our guinea pig
Oh,
today.
no, no worries. Easy. My pleasure.
Because thanks for making it a success. Now, what I'll do, if you guys won't have any, if you have any questions, I'm just gonna nick the screen again for a second because I think there's a couple more, not software related things, but a couple logistic things. So yeah, so again, that's our offer. If you're interested, I would suggest you call us, and we can help you get this going in your company really quickly. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the first thing we'll do is just train your team leaders. You know, put your org chart in there. We'll be happy to do that if you want to use some of our time to do that. Obviously, if you're a big company, we can talk about API linkage to whatever system has your org chart. But if you're a smaller, mid-sized company, you don't really have your org chart in a software application anywhere. Let's put it on the dashboard. It doesn't take that long. And then once you have your org chart on the dashboard, as I mentioned, you probably won't spend more than an hour teaching a team leader how to set up a task list and start sending out the push mails.